Uja opened up for me asked. Well, as you can see, I've done the self-care, and it's you know, it's triggering, or it's releasing. I did the work, and then I checked an email from my lawyer, and I realized that I'm actually going through the very thing that's being described. So I'm grateful that I started this healing work again. I could say the hardest part has been waiting for things to upload. I guess that gives me more time to reflect on the process itself. The videos are not being posted the way, according to the time that I want them to, and that's causing me to, it's causing some stress for me, and I have to let it go. Like I said a few days ago, I just have to accept that the posts are being posted when they're supposed to be posted. So anyway, today is day 11 of 21 days of self-care and global prayer for healing post-traumatic slave syndrome, which means we're starting over at step 1 because there's 10 Sankofa steps. And I've decided that for this round of the protocol, because there's the Sankofa step, there's extraordinary vessels, there's the meridians, and then there's another step that I don't really have a name for. But I think that's going to be, become a point. Like for this step, there is a particular point to be used, and that is the Ren 22 Heaven Projection Celestial Chimney, the Chan Chu. And so that was added to the protocol. So for the other 9 days, I'm going to be focusing on adding a particular point. So here's the reference to that point. And so for the self-care, I put it right here. And I think that's why I'm having a release, because I chose to answer an email. And it's bringing up some things. Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Get calmed down here. All right. So we're looking at the chart for May 20th. And the Sankofa step for today is truthfulness. Tell the truth. It is the foundation of health. So we're talking about truth. That's communication, is Jehuti, and Ma'at is truth. And since Mercury is in sidereal Taurus, which is represented by Venus, this is also the tone that is used for Ma'at. So I'm going to be I ended up using the Jehuti fork and the Hetzeru Ma'at fork. And that's what I ended up doing in the email, is expressing my truth and realizing that I had been, the protocol step is for Ren 22, which clears anger from living someone else's truth or their lies. And I realized, that's an interesting word. I'm gonna have to come back to that. Realize. That's what I've been doing. I've been living from someone else's truth or living under their lie, and I have had enough of that. I have really had enough of that. I'm usually trying to be polite and patient and wait for people to do the right thing, and sometimes they just don't, they just don't. And then what are you going to do? If you're coming from the perspective of the higher self with a royal personality, there's really nothing to do because nothing has happened. But the ego personality, even the tamed ego personality, its duty is to fight chaos and to protect the boat of Ra, protect the day. So I'm going to be doing some more reflecting on this. And of course, the meridian for today is the liver and the gallbladder. finding safety, soothe, stuck, fight responses. The liver and gallbladder meridians mediate the fight response and help us see new possibilities. So I haven't gotten angry with this person. Even today in the email, I wasn't angry. I was just expressing my truth. And I don't know if he's going to honor my truth. I'm not going to live with his lies. I'll definitely report him. But it's just very interesting how this is coming up for me. And so the gallbladder is the meridian that's really hard to do with self-care. But I feel like today I made some progress. It's the one that starts on the corner of the eye, then comes up to the temple, then down behind the ear, then around the ear, then back to over the eye, then back, and then down the head, and down the back, and around the sides, and then back down to the hips, and then down the legs, down to the baby toe. But I did it. The liver meridian is pretty straightforward. Let's see if I can turn the camera. This is the Chang. And the Yin Wei. They're opposites. One you start on the foot and one you starts on the hand. So the reading for the Chang is the one about moving the chi between the kidneys, the intergenerational patterns, traits, cellular memory, genetic disorders, inherited traits, substance abuse, digestive center, opening point for the spleen, difficult issues, difficult to digest. Grandparent, grandchild. That means the grandchild experiences some of the, energetic residue from the grandparent. What is it? Sins of the father, something like that. Ancestral imprinting clears both muscle memory and cellular memory. Trauma, PTSD, cellular memory, old trauma. Kidney reproductive issues, prostate issues, menstrual issues, neutral space between kidneys, can use all intervals. And then the Yin Wei is the pericardium, the heart protector. The inner gate helps to unwrap the heart chakra. Trauma that is left unresolved, and the heart gets less and less space to express itself. Old heart chakra issues allows us to accept what we observe, to accept unconditional love. It's good for nightmares, insomnia, anxiety, opens up when one is shut down. Survival mechanism for abuse. All right, now for a little bit of my commentary on these principles of the Sankofa steps and the protocol. Truthfulness, tell the truth. It is the foundation of health. When living a lie, you cannot have peace. You cannot have health. You cannot know inner peace. The American dream is a lie, and so that is why America is one of the unhealthiest of the so-called developed nations. The truth is that the entire planet has been forced to accept the nightmare as the standard to uphold, which is leading the way onto a path of destruction. The way to true health is by expressing truth, which equates to living by Ma'at. When this is done, there is nothing to fight, nothing to fear, or nothing to run from, because we have attained oneness with the divine. But until this has become the norm, we will face deception every day. So once again, I'm asking the question. If one of the goals is to be able to see the gift in every adversity and see the beauty in all things, what is the gift of being enslaved, of being violated, of being abused and oppressed? When I can find the answer to this, honestly, I think I will have healed myself, and I will find deeper inner peace. I've reached a level of inner peace because I'm living my truth. But issues like this, questions like this, still, I'm not really sure of what is the gift of being enslaved or being abused. Because I think that's the way out for people that are living with PTSD, is to be able to appreciate what happened, and Sankofa is to go back and learn from the past to build the future. And until we can really deal with what's happened, with the roots of this corporation that's called a country, we're not really going to make progress. It's going to keep reading about people being killed by the slave catchers, who are the police force, and just be expected to, wear t-shirts and go running to feel better until it happens again. Which is, it's timely that I started this series during this huge retrograde season, because there's so much going on, and being consistent with my own self-care is a challenge, let alone dealing with social media. Well, anyway, that is the self-care summary. Stay tuned for the global prayer. That proves this stuff is working, because I'm not crying anymore and I'm feeling much better. I just had to add that.